Good morning to one and all present. We will be starting the session now. Our speaker for today's morning session is Dr. B.K. Manjunath. He is a professor and head, Department of Biotechnology, the Oxford College of Engineering. He holds the position of Scientist in Charge, R&D Center at Department of Biotechnology, and is also Dean Research at the Oxford College of Engineering. He is a principal investigator for research projects which are sanctioned from various funding agencies, which includes Vishweshwara Technological University, National Innovation Foundation, Ahmedabad, Department of Atomic Energy, Basic Research in Nuclear Sciences, Trombay, Naval Research Board, DRDO, New Delhi, AICTE, KSCST, IISc, Bangalore. He has a total of more than 50 national and international research paper publications in reputed journals, and also has participated and presented 10 papers in international conferences. He also has a file patented for one of his discoveries in domestic patent at the Indian Patent Office. So we welcome you, sir, and it's a hearty welcome from all of us. I would now request you to take over the session, and do please start the session.
Thank you, Soma Madam, for a nice presentation about my profile. I think most of the people knows me in VTU and in and around the state. Today we are happy.
Unmute, sir.
We are happy to share you that we are. Good morning, ma'am, and good morning, all the participants. It is very nice to have you people virtually. Today it is our second day of faculty development program funded by All India Council for Technical Education, AICTE. So today I'll be introducing you people to the process generally followed, in other words, process that has to be followed in the invention of new product. Because with the invention, with the proposal of new national education policy, as an academician, as a teachers, or as a students, it becomes inevitable for all of us to join hands with the government to fulfill their objectives. So one of the main objectives in higher education, or expectation from the higher education, is that we should contribute towards Atmanirbhar Bharat. Atmanirbhar Bharat mainly aims at developing the product indigenously, right? And higher education centers being the hub of the young minds, a lot of responsibility is there on our shoulders. As a faculty, it is our responsibility to nurture our young minds so that they will take up the task of new product development, new idea generation, new innovation, so that more and more number of products based on societal requirement comes into the market and benefits the society and leads to the Atmanirbhar Bharat. So in that concept, I will be presenting you a few thoughts of mine so that we can discuss and we can come out with a solid figure how to take up the new product development process, so that after this discussion, I hope you people can go back to your institution and you can discuss, or you can convey the message to your students, so that the Atmanirbhar Bharat can be supported with the help of this new product development, right? What is new product actually? Right? A product that opens an entirely new market, can be called as a new product. Because the product which gives a new face value for your product can be considered as a new product. A product that adapts or replaces an existing product. Okay. In case if the existing product is of no value in the society, then if you are introducing a product which gives more value, so that can be called as a product. A product that significantly broadens the market for an existing product, right? In case if the consumer awareness about that particular product is limited to one particular area, then you can, if you can plan the process to expand it, so that will become a new product. An old product introduced in a new market. Okay. An old product packed in different way, because see, if you see the present trend, right? Now, most of the products are of existing one. The only thing is the way of presenting it is in a different form. Say for example, Colgate never ever entered into a concept of introducing any herbal ingredient into their toothpaste. But because of the change in the mindset of the people, right, they also started adding the herbal ingredient into their product, and they started telling it as a herbal ingredient, herbal product. So herbal product means they're simply adding, for the existing product, they are adding one herbal extract or one herbal essence or one herbal aroma, so that they are calling it as a product. So by doing this, they are expanding their product. So there are a lot of such ways are there to make ourselves as a new product innovators. Fine, new product, of course, it is essential. So how to develop a successful new product, right? So for developing a successful new product, you should know what is that you're going to develop, right? What kind of product is in demand in the market? So what kind of product, if I design, will fetch me some kind of market, right? And what is the general procedure followed for the new product development? What is the strategies that has to be adopted for successful development of a new product, right? And in what speed I should develop? Because say for example, in case if you are planning to develop a new product that boosts the immunity or that helps in sanitization of a person, and if you delay in producing it, or it may be a vaccine for COVID-19. If you delay in your discovery and if it stretches for more than 1 or 2 years, then the people may not ask you, or you may not get the expected demand from the market for your product. So right timely release of your product is very, very important, and for this development speed is very, very important, right? And what strategies should I implement to speed up my process of discovery so that I get expected market orientation? Then, so how to make the successful product development? So for this successful development of a product, you should have a successful team. Okay, so we call it as NDT. So new product development team should be very, very strong, and they should be very dedicated. And of course, technology. So we should be very careful in selecting the technology for your new product development. It should not be an age-old technology, because if you follow the age-old technology, finally the cost of the product that is going to become, so it will be very high. So you should think about the newer technologies which will cost less and which will take less labor and which will take less time for the manufacturing. And for all these things, you should have a top management support. If you have all these things, so development of a new product, successful development of a new product will be very easy. Okay, fine. So I want to become a successful product developer. So what I should do? So to become a successful product developer, you should follow a fixed strategy. Okay, and generally in any company for that matter, new product development is followed with a particular strategy. The first one, the foremost thing is the idea generation. Okay, and the second is, so in case if you keep a concept in your mind, you will end up in developing hundreds of ideas. Or if you put it in a team discussion, you will get hundreds of ideas. So out of this 100 ideas, all ideas are not worth for taking further process. So you should select. Okay, screening of your idea is very, very important. Then concept, once the idea is screened, then how do you develop the concept? And how do you test your concept? So you should identify the idea, you should screen the idea, the best idea should be chosen, and then based on this idea, you should develop the concept. And develop the concept and test the concept. Once the concept is tested and it shows the positive result, then you have to take it for the marketing strategy development. Then once the marketing strategy is developed, so next comes the business analysis. Is it worth to release this product? In which time I should release it? Okay, fine. Once the business analysis is done, then they will give approval for product development. Once the product development is completed, then they will take up it for test marketing before mass production. Once the test marketing give them expected result, then it goes for commercialization. So this is the general steps followed in any company before taking up the new product development. So as a faculty members or as a academicians, what or as a students, what should we do? In case if we want to become a successful product developer, is it required to follow this strategy? Not required. So how to develop an idea? So idea generation is very, very important for academicians. For idea generation, I feel there are multiple ways. One is look at your surroundings, identify the problem. In case if you are from a agriculture background, you look at the surrounding agriculture activities and try to implement the knowledge that you have gained during your experience or during your service or during your studies, right? So it may be an automation in the agriculture process, or it may be a discovery of a novel pesticide or insecticide or herbicide, right? So the farmers will be using so many chemicals which it is going to burden the soil. So why don't you replace? So that will become a good idea. So replacing the existing chemically synthesized fertilizer or insecticide or herbicide with a natural product, it will become a good idea. And look at the people or the farmers who are suffering to pick the fruits from the trees because of its, say for example, oregano. Why don't you develop some automations for developing for plucking the fruits? And while plucking the fruits, you should develop, you should pluck the rightly ripened fruit because that will fetch you more amount or more price in the market. So how to identify? Can we do something to identify or segregate between the best ripened and to be ripened fruits? So these are the ideas, right? And in the meantime, if you look at the soil, so soil is very, very important for a farmer, and it is getting contaminated by so many synthetic chemicals, which is carcinogenic and which is harmful in general. So why don't we replace it? What we can do for it? So why don't you develop an compost, okay, which will take care of all the plant's requirement. Say nitrogen, all of us have studied that nitrogen is available in the atmosphere and it will be fixed by bacteria. Phosphorus is there, it will be mobilized from the bacteria. Okay, all the nutrients required for the plant is mobilized by the microorganism in the soil, right? But the number of organisms in any given soil is very limited because of the continuous use of the chemical. These chemicals not only kills the favorable microorganism, also destroys its community. So biodiversity of microorganism or microflora in any agriculture soil is becoming zero. So unless you put some chemicals in the fertilizer, you are not going to grow not even a single grain in your farmyard. So why don't you make them self-fertile? There is a huge demand for such integrated compost. Very simple idea. You can have all of you know how to isolate the nitrogen fixing bacteria. It's available in the legume nodules. Similarly, you can get the culture, or you can isolate the phosphorus mobilizing bacteria, then zinc mobilizing bacteria, magnesium mobilizing bacteria, iron mobilizing bacteria. So collect all these organisms. In case if you feel it is difficult to isolate this organism, you can procure it from the culture centers. You know how to develop the inoculum, develop the inoculum and keep it as a separate inoculum. Now the central government is issuing an soil health card, okay, which will tell you what exactly the deficiency in your in the farmer's yard or in the farmer's soil. So you can construct, as a students, you can have an NGO office, right, which will have a copy of all the soil health cards in your vicinity, and whenever the farmer comes, you can take his soil card and you can identify what is deficient in it, and you can suggest him what kind of microorganism is required to fulfill that gap. So that will fetch you, I will tell you, that will fetch you very good business. So that will become a new idea. So this kind of product is not available in the market. Very few products are available, especially that contains the nitrogen bacteria and azospirillum and other kind of things. So this kind of integrated manure or the compost is in demand. In the meantime, in the soil we have growth promoting bacteria, the bacteria which synthesize the growth promoting hormones, which is very much required for the plants. So mycorrhizal colony will help you in increasing this kind of compounds. So you can identify such organisms from the forest and you can start culturing them, keep the inoculum, and or you can convert that inoculum into granules or immobilize it in the form of a capsule. Then you can give it to the farmers to apply it. So that will become a new idea, right? Similarly, in that, if you go and look at the agriculture land, a lot of organic material is getting wasted. So it may be an areca nut shells, or it may be a banana stem. So why don't you develop some kind of technology? Because all this contains the organic matter. Either it may be rich in carbohydrates, or it may be rich in lipids, or it may be rich in proteins. So see, I will tell you the best example. If you are from Malnad region or Chikmagalur or Kodagu region, so we have plenty of coffee estates wherein coffee fruits are collected, ripened coffee fruits are collected, and it is dehusked, and this pulp is left as a waste. Remember, this pulp contains huge number of protein, huge amount of protein, and good number of enzymes. Why don't you develop a technology to extract the protein, crude protein? Let it be a crude protein. You can follow the simple precipitation procedure, and that will give you a handful of proteins. So why don't you use this as a value addition? Okay, in case if you want to use it as a protein-rich substituent, so you can give it to your animals, right? Or if you want to purify, if you can purify it, we can divert it into human consumption also. Similarly, we have, if you look at your society, if you look at your surroundings, you get a lot of such ideas. So idea generation is very, very important. So once the idea is generated, right, then you can see, you can go through the literature survey. Say, idea may be generated, and then we have to validate this idea. Idea validation can be done by only by literature survey, because same idea might have generated in somebody's mind, and there may be some steps ahead from you. So you should identify whether this idea is novel or not. So that can be done by searching the literature. So follow the literature survey. Now the information is at your fingertips. You can Google it. So you will get what is the process or progress done in this field. So once you satisfy that this particular idea is less exploited, then you can fix with that idea. Once that idea is fixed, then you should develop the concept. So how I should develop my product? In case if it is microorganism based, so can I make it in the form of a powder, or can we have it in the form of a liquid, so that a bottle of the liquid that contains a good amount of inoculum is given to the farmers, and he will be asked to dilute it with the 20 liters or 30 liters of water and spray it off, or can we convert it into a granules, so that shelf life of this product can be enhanced. So develop the concept. So how you want to present it, right? So once that is done, then you should find out what is the market potential, how many farmers are available in and around you, and how many of them are willing to adopt your technology. As a preliminary survey, give them the samples, right? So that is the company does it with the marketing testing. So give them your product and ask them to grow it in a small patch. Okay, get their feedback. Once you feel, or once the farmers feel that yes, this is working, so then nothing can stop your innovation. So directly you can go for mass production and you can start commercializing it. So this is how you can practice. Especially, we should always be aware of local happenings. Say, for example, anything that comes out in the form of an immunobooster is having great demand nowadays. Of course, it will remain for several decades also. And remember, the next task will be the antimicrobials. Any drug or any molecule or any natural compound that helps in combating microorganism to fight with the microorganism will get good recognition. So if you are already into this, please continue your research towards development of microorganisms, because since 25 years we have not launched even a single new antibiotics. Whatever antibiotic that is available in the market is a modified version of the existing antibiotics. Either the addition of some side chain or addition or deletion of some groups. So some kind of modification we are doing, and all pathogenic organisms are aware of what kind of weapons, that is antimicrobial compound, that we are having. So they started developing the resistance, and they are becoming multi-drug resistant organisms. Already we have 3-4 very virulent multi-drug resistant organisms. So the day will come when none of our antibiotics will work on the microbes. So there is a huge demand for technology that checks the growth of microorganisms. So for this, you can adapt newer technologies like quorum sensing. So the microorganism will get mutated only when they feel that they are under threat. Okay, and in case if they reach certain quorum, then only they can cause some disease. So the novel idea, the present idea of the scientists is that you don't destroy the microorganism, but keep them alive, but never allow them to reach the required quorum. So that is called quorum quenching, we call it as. So there are certain organisms, okay, to colonize or to capture the certain habitat, secrete certain protein molecules, okay, that checks the colonization of counter microorganism. So we call it as quorum quenchers. So you can take up this task of identifying these kind of quorum quenchers and testing this quorum quencher on the disease causing microorganisms. So these quorum quenchers are in demand now, because these quorum quenchers will not kill the microorganism. When you are not killing the microorganism, it is not undergoing any mutation. Unless they feel that their life or their population is under threat, they will never ever make their mind to mutate themselves. So avoiding the further mutation in microorganism is beneficial for the mankind. So we can do it by developing quorum quenchers. So this quorum quenchers has got immense application, right? So like this, we can generate the new ideas and follow the standard sequence, and you can end up with a successful product, right? How to come up with the creative ideas? That is a major thing. As a faculties, always we will be looking at our surroundings. Whatever we are doing, convert them into a product. Try to convert them into a product. It may be a herbal tea, or it may be an herbal juice, or it may be a wild fruit juice, or it may be an antimicrobial agent. So many of us will be testing antimicrobial activity using plant extract. Okay? And we will stop our research at this stage only. Why don't you convert that into a bandage? Why don't you convert that into a tablet? Or why don't you convert that into an ointment? Because you already have half the way, you have extracted it, you have concentrated the extract, and you have tested its activity on the pathogenic organism, both gram positive and gram negative, and it has given a good result also. Why don't you convert that into a product? So just by extending your research for one or two steps, you can convert them into a product. That is where we are lagging, right? So look out for the procedure to develop an ointment. Very simple. Ointment base is available in the market. Only thing is you have to standardize the composition of your extract. Identify what is the optimum concentration of your extract that has to be added into your ointment base, and check the stability of it, check the activity of it, continue your research so that it will become a new product. So you have the plant extract which is given very good positive result, put them into a ointment form, so a product is ready. Add something into it, some polymer into it, so that it will hold it. Okay, put it on a bandit. Okay, develop the technology to hold it, apply it on the wound surface. Okay, you can immobilize your drug with a slowly releasing polymers or delayed release polymers or slowly sustained releasing polymers. You can mix your extract with that polymer and you can put it on the band-aid, so that will become a new product. You have to develop the technology, right? And similarly, there are so many such products are available in and around us, which never ever taken the shape of a product, right? So you can generate a creative ideas so that it will become, say for example, I don't think many of you people had kashaya before 1 or 2 years back. Now each and every type of kashayas are available in dip tea fashion. So that's a creative idea, right? And recently one of our friend Dr. Gurumurthy from BMS colleges ended up in developing nanoparticle based areca shell based plastic. So that's a novel idea. It's a creative idea. So he is giving very good value addition for the agricultural waste. So like this, the new product development process starts with idea generation, need based ideas. Always it should be a need based ideas, so that the people will come forward to fund your ideas. Otherwise, in case if there is no demand, so nobody will come forward to finance it, because finance is very good, very important thing for our any research. If you don't have a fund, it's difficult to proceed with studies. So always you try to select the idea which is in need. Present day, anything that deals with vaccine, that too against COVID, or that too against microorganism, that herbal extracts that boost your immunity, that relieves the symptoms of cough or fever or cold is in demand. So any ideas or any product, okay, in this sector will immediately get financial assistance. And if you look further, there is a huge demand for fuels, natural fuels, or biodiesel, or biofuel, or energy sector. So always our new idea should be need based. So and also the market based. There should be a market potential for your product, so that the venture capitals will come forward. Repeatedly they will be having sessions. Repeatedly the venture capitals will be calling for pitching sessions. So there you can go and present your ideas. In case if they feel yes, it has got a very good market potential, immediately they are going. Finance or the funding is not a limiting factor nowadays. Okay, if you have a solid idea or a creative ideas, the people are there to finance your ideas, right? Or you can look at your surrounding and you can, the ways to generate the creative ideas is biomimic. Okay, so many things are available in and around us. Why don't you copy it? Then you can modify the existing tool. Say for example, if you look at some agricultural farmers are associated with agriculture activities, they have invented several innovative products. Why don't you automate it? Why don't you provide some kind of motorization for it? It may be a grass cutting, or it may be a fruit plucking, or it may be a dehusking, or it may be something else. So why don't you put your technology into it? You develop the machine out of it, or you develop the automation in it, or to one step ahead, you can put AI into it, artificial intelligence into, so that it can be remote operated, right? And modification of the patents. This is one. In case if you want to generate a creative ideas, you have to read the patents, go through the patents, select the domain, start reading the patents. After reading 5 to 6 patents, a solid idea generates in your mind. Either, and it may be a new idea, or it may help you in identifying the loopholes in the patent. So keeping that in mind, you can start modifying the patents. So that will become a modification of the patent. Then societal needs. In case if you look at your surroundings, it will give you a hint what is there or what is required. So based on that, you can generate the creative ideas. Then once the creative ideas is generated, then the next task for people to become a successful product developer is to screen the idea. The best chosen ideas always will help you in fetching financial assistance and in fetching market potential, and of course in becoming successful entrepreneurs. So idea screening means nothing else than filtering the ideas to pick out the good ones. So for this you need assistance. Okay, in case if you are a student, please meet your mentors or the faculty members, discuss with them, open up your ideas. And in case if you are a faculties, please discuss with your colleagues of like-minded people. And if you are interacting with any industry persons, first you make one non-disclosure agreement with them so that your idea is protected, right? And then open up your idea, discuss with them, okay, and give a shape to this idea. They will be the better persons whether your idea is marketable or not. Or you have, in case if you feel whatever idea that is generated in your mind is worth, after your preliminary studies, you can approach government agencies like VTPC is there, like NRDC is it, National Research Development Council is there. You put your ideas and then that will give you, that will help you to decide whether you can proceed your research in this particular area or not. So because they, for the government, they will be periodically making a surveys in the market, and based on the market demand, they will be suggesting trust area for the funding agencies. NRDC, National Research Development Council, will be doing continuous surveys. It's a government agency which will be doing continuous surveys, and they will be giving report to the scientific advisor committee so that they choose the ideas and they put it in the form of a themes or domains or trust areas for each funding agencies. So you can approach such people so that you will they will help you in choosing the right ideas among the mixed ideas, right? So spot good ones and drop the poor ones. Okay, dropping the poor ones is a little difficult because always we feel that since it is the idea generated in our mind, we feel that it is worth. But unless you get a guarantee of market potential, okay, please don't pick any ideas. So spot the good ones and drop the poor ones. Then go ahead only with those product ideas that will turn into a profitable product, right? Because once you end up with the development of a product, it should fetch you some profit from it. Otherwise, the time spent on your invention, the money spent on your invention will go as a waste in case if the customer or if the product does not have the market potential. So at the end of the day, we are doing it for the profit. And if your idea or the product is not fetching that profit, better to drop it and develop another creative idea. Dropping the poor ideas as soon as possible is consequently of crucial importance because that is going to save your time and energy and money also. Okay. Then once the idea is shortlisted, then we have to develop the concept, right? So concept may be, in case if it is a license-based idea, we have to identify the RCs, okay, are the procedures, are the materials methods, okay, that will help you in executing the product or in developing the product, right? Attractive ideas must be developed into a product concept. I want to convert this microorganism into a granule. So what procedure I should follow? How I should present my product? So that idea should be clear in our mind, right? So attractive ideas must be developed into a product concept. A product concept is a detailed version of the new product idea stated in meaningful consumer terms. Okay? So you should be very clear in it. I am going to convert this product or this idea into this kind of product. This product is going to be useful for so and so people. So unless you convince the funding agency or the venture capitals that your product is going to hit this particular market, these are my customers, this is my turnover, expected turnover, these are the market share that I am going to capture once I develop or release the product, they are not going to find it. So you should have the complete knowledge of your product, right? A product concept is a detailed version of the new product idea stated in meaningful consumer terms. Unless you explain this to the funding agency or venture capitals, they are not going to give you any funding facility. Because you should identify, this is my customer, this is my customer sector, this is the market potential, existing market share that this particular product is having. And if by the release of my product, I am going to capture this much of market share. This is the lacuna in the market. So this may be a price, or this may be a utility, or this may be a consumer opinion. So you should clearly highlight it. This is what the consumer is wanting, but unfortunately that particular product is not available in the market. So by releasing my product into the market, I am going to capture 60% of the market share. So quite naturally, the venture capitals will get convinced, or the funding agency is going to be convinced. So it's easy to get your idea funded. So if you want to have your idea from funded or recognized, you should have this marketing strategies or market strategies, right? Then marketing strategy development. So before that, so all these things are the strategies followed in the company. But as academicians, okay, we should prepare all this information, and we should gather all this information before presenting our idea in the pitching sessions, or before the venture capitals, or even before the funding agency. Okay, many people, many faculty members, when I meet, they'll ask, sir, how is that you are getting a good number of projects? As of now, we have around 0.5 crores of project in our department. So they will ask, sir, what is the secret that do you know any scientist in the funding agency so that always you will get the fund? That is not the case. Unless you convince that the idea that is you are presenting in front of the panel is going to solve this particular scientific problem, that this idea is going to have this particular market potential, this idea is going to help this particular sector of the society, they will not fund any of your ideas. Earlier days, they used to give financial assistance for blunt end research, but nowadays they are very particular. If they are giving you 20 lakhs rupees, after 18 months, they want to see some other kind of a product, at least in the proof of concept stage. So, if you want to get recognized in the funding agency, you should have a solid idea which has got at least certain information, basic information like this, right? The next step in the new product development process is the marketing strategy development. A description of the target market. You should know what is the loophole in the market, why you have chosen this idea, where exactly you are going to release this product, how much demand is there in the product in the market, who all are your competitors, what is their percent of market share, what is their price, what is the product detail that your competitors are producing, how different your product is from the others or competitors. Is it from the price wise, is it from the quality wise, or is it from the presentation wise, or is it from the consumer wise? So what is that? How different you are? How different is your idea from the existing product? So that you should be clear. So always you should develop a new idea in such a way that it stands completely different from the existing product. If you make that statement, existing product is having these particular loopholes or drawbacks, my product is going to cover this drawback. It may be a price wise. The product may be having 1,000 rupees in the market, and you may be developing an idea. Your idea may be ending up with a product which costs you 100 rupees. So quite naturally, you can hit the market with a very good market share. So quite naturally, the venture capital will be convinced, and funding agency also will be ready, because you are going to replace the product which is existingly 1000 rupees costing the customer, and with 100 rupees. So quite naturally, you will become a successful product launcher. Or it may be shelf life. The existing product may be having 2 months or 3 months shelf life, and you're claiming that your product is going to have 6 months shelf life. So quite naturally, there is an advantage, right? It may be a cost wise, or it may be a shelf life wise, or it may be a consumer appeal wise. So you should identify what is the drawback of your competitor. You should clearly identify who are your competitors, what is their market strength, what is their market capturing potential. So how you are going to fight with them, right? So once that is clearly defined, okay, maybe your idea is in very preliminary stage, that they don't bother, because they are there to help you to develop the product, and they will assist you, they will give you the mentors, you will be incubated in IITs, right? You will be incubated in reputed research institute, so that you can give a good shape for your idea. So description of the target market is very, very essential, right? So as I said, competitors, you should identify the competitors, you should identify the SWOT of your competitors, right? A SWOT of your market. Then you should clearly state how your product is different, how your product is novel, how your product is going to be a successful launch in the market. Then the planned value proposition and the sales, you should see. See, this is the strategy followed by the existing product. So they are capturing 30% of the market. This is my new strategy of marketing. It need not be a product. It can be a marketing strategy also. This is my new strategy, right? And this I am going to put it in the market, so that I am going to capture another 60% of the market share. I remember some while attending some conference, one of the speakers gave a crude example for this marketing strategy. It was in Europe. Some company, say for example, you can keep it as a call it. So there was a call for the managing director stating that I have an idea to improve 40% of your market sales, right? So immediately that fellow called a board of members meeting, and they said, do you have any idea which will give me 40% extra sales? So none of them given a positive reply, and so that made the managing director to call that fellow to ask details about the strategy that he is going to give to increase 40% of the sales. So the fellow made a clear-cut agreement. He took the check and other kind of thing. Then he said, increase the dimension of your toothpaste hole by 40%. Because by increasing the dimension, the consumer is going to consume more amount of toothpaste, and you are going to get a market share of 40% extra sale. So there is a simple strategy that that fellow has given, and took very good sum out of this idea. So you should have a clear-cut marketing strategy. So your strategy may boost the sales. So likewise, you should be innovative in your strategy. Then market share and profit goals. So you should clearly say, this is the existing market share that the competitors are having. My product with this capability or with this quality is going to occupy this particular share, right? And an outline of the product's planned price, distribution, and marketing budget for the first year you should have clearly. Then the planned long-term sales, profit goals, and the marketing mix strategy. So you should have all these things for your product. Then fine, your idea is very novel, your idea is very good, and you have done many predictions about your actual feasibility study you should conduct. Feasibility analysis or study. When it comes to life science, or when it comes to biotechnological invention or the concept, so in case if you are looking at some compound either from the natural source or from the microorganism or plant source, you should have yield information that is critical to the product success. So how much after doing that, how much is the yield that you are going to get? Then market's level of interest, how many persons in the market knows about the product of your type? What is the market or what is the customer awareness about the product? Is this concept is very new to the customer, or the customers is already aware of this particular product? Because if there is two chances, in case if the concept is very new to the customer, then first thing is you have to create awareness in the consumer forum. Unless the consumer is aware of your product, he is not going to buy it. Maybe your product may be very good, but lack of awareness will create a huge problem. And for the company, they may have to invest a huge amount to create awareness. So market level interest is very, very important. Market level interest and desired product features, as well as it determines whether the product development has the potential to be profitable, attainable, and viable for the company. Then, while satisfying a real demand for the target market, right? So, questions to be answered during feasibility study includes: do you have a manpower, or raw material, or infrastructure, or the technology required for the production of your final product? You should be clear about it. Then what is the price of your production, delivery, and promotion? Because at the end of the day, after doing all this exercise, if your product cost comes out to be higher than the existing product, nobody is going to buy your product. So you should have a clear-cut idea about what is the price of production, delivery, what is the cost involved in the delivery, and what is the cost that you are going to spend it on the promotion. So all this put together will decide the cost of your product. So do you have access to the right distribution channel, or you want to establish it again? So that also has to be clear. Then test your concept before releasing it to the market. New product concept need to be tested with group of target consumers. Concept can be presented to consumer either symbolically or physically. You might have seen the people giving sample in the malls for tasting. It may be a herbal tea, or it may be a new product, or it may be a new fruit juice, something like that. So you should shell out samples to the consumer so that their opinion can be collected. The question is always, does the particular concept have strong consumer appeal? For some concepts, a word or picture description might be sufficient. For some, you may have to give the physical. Generally, what they do, they manufacture a few prototypes of they manufacture small number of instruments, and they'll give it to the consumer, and they'll take their feedback before going for the mass production. However, to increase the reliability of the test, a more concrete and physical presentation of the product concept may be needed. Okay. So after exposing the concept to the group of target consumer, they will be asked to answer questions in order to find out the consumer appeal and consumer value of each of the concepts, right? So you should know whether this product is appealing to them, whether this product, how the customers feel about your product. Once that is done, then marketing strategy or test the marketing. So give out the free coupons or free samples and find out how the response for your product. Once that is confirmed, then you have to go for mass production, right? So then commercialization. So commercialization, you should know when to introduce your product, right? In case any good product introduced at wrong time may not be successful in the market, or sometimes timing is very important. So when there is a need, if you release it, so quite naturally the sales will be very high. So introducing place in a single location or a region or national market, okay, or in the international market, that you have to decide based on your product. Okay. So with this, this is a general strategy followed in new product development in any company or in any individual way. Now let us look at the possibility of innovations from the biotechnological perspective, right? So there is a huge demand for innovation in biotechnology. Okay. Now one of such idea is developing bioluminescent plant, right? So this concept is aims at replacing the street light, okay, replacing the street light with bioluminescent plant. This is an idea generated in the mind of some scientists. Okay, lighting accounts for around 20% of the worldwide energy consumption. So replacing them with naturally bioluminescent plant would represent a significant cut to carbon dioxide emission. Okay, plants could glow for about 45 minutes to 3.5 hours. Paint, paint or spray of the nanoparticles and the plant leaves plants into light. So convert the plants into light sources. You can turn the light off by adding nanoparticles carrying luciferase inhibitor. So luciferase, it's a genetically engineered thing, and they have developed a technology. The complete details are not explained, but you can convert a roadside tree into a roadside street lamp. So this is a novel idea, right? So this kind of idea is required. Once you give this kind of idea, for working out this idea, the people will come forward. Understand? Then another concept that is there in the mind of many innovative scientists is that by exposing plants to the different light, you can enhance the yield of the plant, right? So by embedding carbon nanotubes in the chloroplast of the plant, researchers found they were able to create artificial antenna to help the plant capture wavelengths of light they normally don't absorb, including ultraviolet and near infrared light. So the scientists have tried incorporating nanotubes into the plant leaves so that they can capture the light energy which normally they don't observe. This is very, very important when you think of growing the plants in space, right? So this is the novel idea generated in some scientist's mind, and the team was able to insert the nanoparticles simply by applying a solution to the undersurface of the leaves. Then the team was able to insert the nanoparticles simply by applying a solution to the underside of the leaves. Okay. So you can visit this particular website for further details. So it's a very easy and simple idea. So that so another novel idea generated in the mind of some higher education students is that converting the human waste, right, into an electricity and reducing the water consumption by 90%. So new toilet system is developed which will convert human waste into electricity and reduces water use by 90%. So this kind of innovation is required. And another fascinating research, okay, that as a biotechnologist we can take up is self-healing structures. We call it as bacterial cement, right? So the idea is very simple. They were able to identify the strains which can tolerate high alkaline and acidic conditions, right, and which can survive or which can produce resting spores, okay, and which has the ability to germinate when they come in contact with the water, right? So what they do, they prepare the inoculum and they mix it with the concrete, and this concrete is applied on the structures. So whenever the structure cracks, automatically moisture enters into it, right, and the bacteria present inside the concrete take this moisture and start secreting certain polymers which will freeze or which will close the gaps developed in the structure. Okay, you can see it in the figure. So this is the crack developed and the microorganism present in it is absorbing it, and you can see the polymer synthesized along the cracks so that the crack is healed. Here also the same thing. So it contains these are the bacteria which are able to synthesize additives, right, and polymers, so which fills this particular gap. So nanotechnology coating or additives will even have the potential to allow materials to heal when damaged or worn. Okay. Dispersing nanoparticle toward the material means that they can migrate to fill in any cracks that appear. This could produce self-healing materials for everything from aircraft cockpit to micro electronics, preventing small fractures from turning into large, more problematic cracks. So you can collaborate with the civil department of your institute. You can take students from both civil engineering and biotechnology, and if you want, you can procure the strains or you can isolate the strains from habitats which are highly alkaline or which are highly acidic, or you can procure the strain from NCLM Pune or Intech Chandigarh. There, the strains with characterized strains are available. You can start giving project to the students so that you can start researching around this. So next target for us is integrating ourselves with computer science and electronics and communication. So you can see here a farmer is standing with a laptop and a gadget, okay, and monitoring the release of water, pesticide or insecticide or whatever. So drone is flying, he is monitoring here remotely, and the work is happening. So this is one type of integration that the biotechnology has to look into it. So this is a model house, model agricultural house, okay, or farm you can call it as. Everything here is artificial intelligent able, right? So here we have malls, okay. Here we have canteens, okay, which will run with the raw material generated in this. We have automatic tractors which will do the farmer function here without any human intervention. Here we have the service station which will take up the servicing or charging of these things, and here is the central control agency which will receive information from the satellite to control the entire environment of this farmyard. Okay, so this kind of automation, okay, is required. See here, entire inside this it is completely automated, no human intervention. You can sit at this place, control room, and you can operate the entire process. So this is the novel farmyard integrated with artificial intelligence. And similarly, you can see the integration of drone or artificial intelligence and machine learning process in each and every agricultural activity. So this is what is demanded. See, simple thing I'll tell you. You can collaborate with the electronics and communication department, so who works on artificial intelligence, machine learning. So what we can do for a particular crop, okay, there will be a set of diseases or set of pests that generally infects in a particular area. You can collect that information. You can take the photographs of all these diseases and pests, and of course you should also concentrate on the disease symptoms that comes with the deficiency of the nutrients. So integrate all these things, preload or pre-program all these things. You help the EC people or the computer science people to take the snapshot of detail of all these information, and they will program it, and you can ask the EC people to devise a device so that through using image processing, looking at the crop, you can tell them what kind of disease it is, what is the method to control it, right? What is the rate of infestation, right? All these things you can easily predict, right? Similarly, you can think of automating many kind of things. So here, all these things is again it is image processing basis, right? And you can automate the robots in such a way that you can make our agriculture more smart. So here, all these things are already available in the market, right? Only thing is you have to integrate it. You have to integrate in such a way that it becomes self-reliable for its power by putting the solar sheets on it, and here there is a one camera which will take the photograph and it will scan whether it's a crop or a bead. So you can take the photograph of all the possible beads that come, or you can keep the photograph of the crop, the particular crop that is grown in that particular area, and apart from that it will take out all the other beads, or other plants will be considered as beads. Similarly, we have so many things. So here we have paddy sowing machine. See, you can see the automation in it. So you can integrate it, right? Instead of human, you can integrate it. Here we have automatic processing machine. You can integrate it. You can put the solar panel on it so that it will become self-reliable for its power, right? So this kind of invention is, or automation is required in Indian agriculture sector, right? Similarly, when it comes to the solar panel, you can think of implementing the solar panel. You can collaborate with the mechanical department and our mechatronics department, and you can develop the device using this. So it is a simple water lifting process using the solar system. And IIT Delhi has come out with one innovative auto rickshaw which contains the solar panel on its top, so that it runs by its own, right? So this kind of innovation, novel innovation is required. And similarly, here it is another major innovation made in some agricultural universities. So here it will send one laser beam or light in the farmyard. That image is taken back, right? It has got a sensor that will analyze the moisture content of it. So it will decide whether water needs to be sprayed in this particular area or not. By the light reflection, it will tell you what is the nutrient composition in that given area, whether any additional nutrient is required or not, because the crop, complete details of the crop, its moisture requirement, nutrient requirement, right? Everything is preloaded. It is already feeded in the instrument. So when it takes that information, so that information will decide whether water has to be done in this area, whether the nutrient level is optimum or less. If it is less, how much has to be added? If it is more, need not to be added. In the meantime, it also collects information from the satellite, weather information from the satellite, and it will decide whether the rain is going to come. If it is coming, so whether the watering is required or not. In the meantime, it also takes the snapshot of the complete area, and it will analyze whether any plant in the given plot is infected with any disease or any microorganism. If it is infected, right, it will analyze the severity of the infection. If it is very severe, then it will target that particular plant. You can see the target site here. It will burn out that particular plant on the spot. So no need of, it will, by doing this, it will check the spreading of the infection. In case if it is multiple plants, it cannot be, it may damage the entire crop yield. So for that purpose, it will start spraying the pre-loaded So it will start delivering the preloaded pesticide or insecticide or fungicide, whatever. It's already preloaded. So quite naturally, after analyzing it, it will send the signal back to the controller, and that controller will spray exactly to that particular region the required medicine. Right? So in this way, this kind of integration for the small scale farmyards we can develop by collaborating with electronics and communication, computer science and mechanical. Right? So this is one such artificial farmyard. So here everything is controlled, including the moisture and the light, everything. So here we have automated tractor which will take care of the watering and other kind of things. So this kind of automation you can plan by collaborating with the automobile department and mechanical department. So we have electronic robots. So this electronic robot is designed to perform agricultural activity in the field. So such a lot of examples are there. You can Google it out. You will find a good number of such kind of innovations. Because of the time limit, I may have to wind up the session. So here is the robot which will selectively pluck the ripened fruits. So again, it is image processing based. So ripened fruit quality images of the ripened fruit is already fed into the robot, and that robot takes the photograph, sends the signal, and they will pluck only the ripened fruits. So you can collaborate with the EC and computer science department, and you can start developing the small robots, okay, which can sensitize the ripened, infected, or deformed leaves, that kind of things. So again, automation is involved in many of the things. So here is another highly advanced fabrics which contains all the sensors, right? So again, I think many of you have heard of these nano robots, which will get into your circulation system, and all these nano robots are preloaded with the target sites, so they will go and directly deliver the drug at that particular sites. So these are again, this kind of collaboration can be made between the allied subjects like biotechnology, EC, EEE, or mechatronics, something of that kind. So it is under sensors. Again, you can collaborate with the EC department to develop this kind of wearable sensor. So you people can take up the task of helping them in identifying the symptoms, or identifying how the blood pressure is identified, or how the blood flow is monitored, or how the blood counts is modified. I mean, all these health monitoring system you people can assist, and they can start designing the required circuits for the sensors. Okay, so this is another wearable sensor which is impregnated into the fabric. So from the outside, it is not you cannot see the it is not it will not appear on the outside, but it is embedded inside the fabric. So the person who wears it all his information can be controlled at one particular station. This is very much required for the old age people and for the soldiers. It is just specially designed in the devil for the soldiers. So this is smart T-shirts which contains everything that is required for a soldier to do, and it contains automatic cooling machine and also warming machine. Okay, the soldiers who works in glaciers will get auto heaters, and the soldiers who works in deserts will get automatically cooled, and this optical fiber will help in conducting the information, collecting the information, and even in talking to the colleagues, all these kind of things. So this is one integration that biotechnology can have with other departments. So with this, I think I tried my level best to upgrade your knowledge or brush your knowledge about the general strategy followed in the product development, and how we can integrate with other departments to product development process. Thank you for patience hearing. And any doubts or any questions if you have, I am very happy to clear it to the best of my knowledge.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for that very elaborate talk. If participants have any queries, questions, the forum is open. You can either chat it or you can unmute yourself and question.
Good morning, Professor Manjunath.
Yes, sir. Gopinath, sir,
yeah.
how are you?
How are you, sir?
Tell me, sir.
It's a very excellent, very informative talk. So we're very happy, and there are many new things and very informative things we understand today. So thank you very much for your an excellent talk, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Good morning, Manjunath.
Good morning, sir.
How are you, sir?
Fine, fine,
Excellent.
fine.
Excellent
Since
talk.
yesterday you are enjoying the sessions, right?
Yeah. Yesterday only I joined itself, but what you are delivering is very good, very informative. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. Excellent.
Participants, if you have any questions, you can post it on the chat box.
Hello. Manjunath sir.
Hello, sir. We can hear you. Please talk.
Madam Manjunath sir, ಕೊಡಿ ಒಂದು ನಿಮಿಷ.
Sir, ಕೇಳಿಸ್ಕೊಳ್ತಿದ್ದಾರೆ.
Sir, ಹೇಳಿ.
Sir, topic was very good, sir. It is very useful to all kind of category engineering stream. I think.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah. It is very, very informative, and I think it is a need for all the branch people. I think what I felt. Fantastic, sir. Very good, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
Thank you to all the participants. So this is the end of the session. 11:30 we will be starting with this next session. Please do join us using the link that is posted in the group and also mailed. Thank you. So we will be ending the session now.